Okay, I'm just gonna talk and we're gonna see if this works. And it might pick up on the mic, it might not, but either way, you're gonna be able to hear me. So, um, today I want to talk about um giving feeling appreciated. Basically, where I'm getting this from, my 19th birthday was on the 27th last month of June, and I well, actually, let me start over. So, I'm a person who I feel like I really fully give myself to other people, especially the people that I'm close to and the people that I love and care about. Um, and I definitely have this issue where I take any sort of like any sort of me asking for something or taking up any space as me being selfish. The last thing that I want is to like inconvenience someone. And I do think part of that is me not wanting to give anyone a reason to not have me in their life. You know what I mean? So, say this is how it goes in my head. So, say I have this friend and I we're super close and I think everything is good, but my friend hypothetically has been thinking that I'm annoying, or they're kind of thinking that they don't really want to be friends anymore. Um which is fine, but you know what I'm saying. Um you have say I have this friend doesn't really want to be my friend anymore. I don't know that in this hypothetical situation. So I am sitting here and say I need their help with something, and I ask them, and then this person already doesn't really feel like going out of their way for me, or even if it's just something small, they're it's an inconvenience to them. Even if this person wasn't having these thoughts about me where they love me and blah blah blah, and they are completely fine with me asking for something. That's just not the way my brain works. I can't be it's okay in my head. It's okay for somebody else to ask something of me because yeah, I'm your friend, or I'm your significant other, or we're family, whatever. I'm going to do something for you because I care about you. Obviously, I'm going to go out of my way for you. Why wouldn't I? But I can't put myself in the mind space of somebody else being yeah, being the exact same way. I just see it as here comes Sophia asking for another another thing. And I think a lot of that especially is growing up feeling such a, I keep using the word inconvenience, but really inconvenience. I don't want to ask for anything because then it's just gonna turn into a big talk or a lecture or who knows what. You know what I mean? So it's definitely growing up that association with needing anything, um, coming off as too much. You need something even just as small as oh, I ran out of shampoo. Can you take me to the store to get some shampoo? And then it turns into this big talk of appreciating what we have and all that, which is obviously a good thing, but it definitely has instilled in my brain that I can't take up too much space because obviously people have their own problems. They why would they have room for my problems? And I love this person so much, so why would I toss myself at them and expect them to like push their stuff aside for me in the way that I push my stuff aside for them? And I do think that that's an issue that I have and that a lot of other people have, where you give so much of yourself to someone else and it's not, you don't want anything back in the moment. It's like, of course I'm going to do this for you, and no, I don't expect anything in return, obviously. But whenever it comes down to things that are supposed to be about you, like circling back to my birthday, I feel like, me personally, as someone who feels so selfish whenever anything is about them, I look forward to my birthday because birthdays are something where like it's just about you inherently. Like it's not a selfish thing for your birthday to be about you. It's your day, it's your birthday. So I don't know, I just feel like it's the only day where it's not selfish to have it be about you, if that makes any sense. And then my birthday rolls around, and and then my birthday rolls around and it's not what I expected it to be, if that makes sense. Like, without going into too much detail, I didn't feel special. I didn't feel like appreciated when that's really all I wanted. So my birthday ended up being really disappointing, and like it was just a rough weekend for me. But I have to like sit and look at it. Is that a fault of the people around me for not making me feel as special as I expected to feel? Or is that my fault for putting that day like up on a pedestal because none of my other days are like that, because I don't let them be like that. So I have like such high expectations for my birthday, where I have such high expectations for my birthday and then it doesn't turn out that way. I don't think that's the people around me's fault, because they didn't they can't read my mind. They don't know that I had such high hopes for this. Like, I think as a person and like maybe as a group, because I know I'm not the only one who thinks like this, we need to stop. Well, actually, I don't really know how to say this without. Okay. I don't think there's anything selfish about putting yourself first. I think there's a difference between being selfless and being that person that everybody can like depend on, and versus throwing yourself away to where like, yeah, you're that person everyone can depend on, but you're also that person where like it's just the expectation. So anytime you're not feeling up to doing whatever for this person, or you're not feeling up to being this person that anybody can talk to, and you know what I mean, like whenever you're not feeling up to that day, it comes off as like, oh, you're being rude, or like, are you mad at me, what's wrong? And that can be frustrating too, because it's like, no, nothing's wrong, I'm not mad at you, I just don't like feel like 100% today. But that comes off as like pretty shitty, because you've created a standard where you are the person that like people can depend on. So when you're not able, or like when they're not able to depend on you one day out of the month, it's like, okay, hey, pretty freaking rude. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think to, to like come full circle, because I'm kind of rambling, we need to stop putting people in front of ourselves so much to the point where like we completely forget about ourselves. Like obviously the people in your life, like I feel like me personally, those are my priorities, whether that be healthy or not. That's probably the thing that I need to figure out. My priority is the people I love and the people that I surround myself with. Obviously, there has to be a balance where you can obviously have so much love for these people and like yeah, they can depend on you. That's incredible, but you have to be able to like put yourself first sometimes. Like whether that be taking a step back and being like, "Oh no, I can't really like do that today," or "Sorry, I'm busy," or like even just like, "Hey, I don't really feel like it. I don't really feel like it today." I don't think that should be like this controversial thing. And like I don't really know if maybe it's not, maybe it's again just me in my head like being like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings," or like what if this person doesn't have anybody else? At the end of the day, it's not my responsibility. It's not your responsibility. It's not that person's responsibility. Like, it's nobody's responsibility. You can be a good friend without being the person that, like, everyone can fall back on. And again, you can still be the person that everyone can fall back on, but who's gonna, like, take care of you? Because you have this standard set where, like, you're not telling people that you don't need anyone, but it's kind of just assumed because it's like, so me, okay, we'll say Sophia. Sophia is just there for everybody. So like in other people's minds, it's not like a thought of like who's there for Sophia, because really there doesn't need to be, if that makes sense, because you've set the standard of I don't need anyone. I'm there for everyone else. If that makes sense. So I do think that we have to set that standard and stop because really it isn't fair to you and it isn't fair to the people around you. Because what if you don't have the energy to do that day? Then that comes off as shitty. Or like your birthday rolls around and you expect it to be a day where it's about you without it being selfish, and then you don't get the response that you were expecting or wanting, and then you just kind of feel like really really crappy because obviously I don't know, it's just you can't have these standards set and expect things to change, you know what I mean? I just think it's super unhealthy. And I'm trying to figure that out myself. That's why I'm rambling on about this for so long. But I don't know. I don't know. You gotta figure it out. You gotta be able to put yourself first. And I think there's a way to do it without like coming off as, oh, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Oh, you can't rely on me. Because that's not true. I think that goes against like who I am as a person is like to be, oh no, I can't do that today, or I don't want to do that today. I love being the person that people can depend on. That I feel like that's who I am. But it gets to a point where you're sacrificing yourself and then it's just expected and then it's like not appreciated. Or like not to say that it's not appreciated. Like I'm sure they do appreciate it, but nobody they don't feel like the need to tell you because it's just who you are. It's not like you're the kind of person where like you're just normal. We'll say normal, but like you know what I mean. Um anyway, yeah, we'll just say normal for lack of a better word. I completely lost my train of thought. I don't know. Yeah, for lack of a better word, I think it just becomes normal for people to rely on you for like these big things because you've never made it an issue, and everybody else, like, it's like a favor, like they'll do a big favor because they're a good friend, you know what I mean? It's just not the expected, where like you anyone needs anything, you're there, day in, day out. It's just expected. So whenever it's like you're wanting to feel appreciated, nobody can really like scratch that itch, because why would they be able to? Because that's just who you are. And then you're sitting here and you're like, I've given and I've given and I've given, and you're like feeling so burnt out because you have nothing left for yourself. I don't really know if I'm making sense, but that's kind of what I'm getting at, is like we have to save some for ourselves, because at the end of the day, that is really all we have. Like, you have your family, you have your friends, you have literally, like, I don't know, you have your pets, like, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're the one sitting in bed or wherever with your thoughts. Would you rather, like, come home at the end of a long day and be like, God, I feel so appreciated, or or God, I keep doing all this for these people and they just don't make me feel appreciated. Is that, like, it's a thought that you have to have? Is that a fault of their own, or is that your fault? Because you're giving and giving and giving, and yeah, sure, you don't have an expectation of like feeling appreciated at the time, but say you give and give and give for a month, and then at the end of the month, you're like, what am I being given? That's not fair to anybody, because you've never set that standard of like, yeah, I'm gonna give, but like, I still need to keep some for myself. You gotta, like, it's just like, I feel like a cycle that has to be broken, where yeah, it's just a cycle that has to be broken. I don't know. But it obviously, I feel like it takes time, but I think it's something that we should all work towards. And I'm gonna end this right here because I'm just kind of talking in circles. But maybe I'll do more. I don't know. Bye.